name is Nanatufo Boateng. We're bringing you a live coverage of that special committee set up by the Speaker Alban Bagbin to investigate the chaos that happened during the appointment committee sitting on January 30 and 31. In studio with me is my colleague and host of Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM and face-to-face here on Channel One Television, Umaru Sanda Amadu. Good morning.
Bonjour, Nanatofo. How are you?
Bonjour, mon ami. Comment ça va?
Yeah, that's the end of my French.
You look good, though.
Eh?
I think it's the new haircut.
I'm learning from you.
You changed your barber?
Yeah, my mentor is Bobby Ose.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Good morning to you, Bobby Ose. This one looks like an out-of-town barber.
Can we discuss the...
Very well. Bejra committee. Very well, very well. So, the minority has written to the chairman of the committee, that's Emmanuel Bejra, stating their position in clear words that until they hear from the speaker, they are unable to participate in the committee's work. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yes, I have. And I think it is just one of many of the issues that have come up since this committee, which was set up to investigate chaos, has found itself in. But I've noticed one thing that is happening. It's almost like you say what you want to say, we will do what we want to do. Yeah. And I think all the other, the previous committee, the appointments committee has been very accommodating. This committee appears to be like, okay,
they're moving on with their
life. That's as simple as it is. And so the fact that the minority leader issues this statement or sends this memo means that they are saying, hold on, don't do anything until the speaker acts.
Sanda, hold on for me. The committee is in session. I see the chairman reading something. Let's go over to that committee and hear what he's reading out to the press. We're working it out to bring you a proper audio quality. We seem to be having some technical challenges regarding that, but my suspicion highly will have to be that letter from the minority leader. Let me just quickly read it out to our viewers so we know what exactly it says. It's a memorandum to the chairman of the ad hoc committee, the Honorable Emmanuel Bejra, from the minority leader, Osahene Alexander Kwamena Afenyomakin, and the CC majority leader, he's copied the majority leader and leader of government business. It's dated the 10th of February 2025, and the subject is minority's position on the committee's proceedings. And I read, I write to inform you that I have submitted a memorandum to the Right Honourable Speaker on behalf of the Minority Caucus regarding concerns surrounding your continued chairmanship of the ad hoc committee's proceedings. Pursuant to this, and given the significance of the issues raised, the Minority Caucus considers it prudent to await the Speaker's response before taking any further steps in relation to the committee's work. This should not be misconstrued as an unwillingness on the part of the minority to engage with the committee. Rather, it is a necessary step to ensure that due process is followed and the process remains fair, impartial, and credible. We trust that the Speaker will address these concerns in a manner that upholds the integrity of the committee's work and the broader interest of Parliament. We appreciate your understanding and look forward to a resolution that ensures confidence in the committee's proceedings. And he signs off by saying, respectfully submitted. This is from Osahene Alexander Kwamena Afenyomakin, minority leader in Parliament, to the chairman of that special committee or the ad hoc committee, the Honourable Emmanuel Bejra. These are clear.
Yeah.
Clearly, the minority is not going to do business with the committee until directed by the Speaker.
So it flows from what they said last week. So almost like the warning that they gave, and now they are continuing with that. The unfortunate thing is that the House of Parliament doesn't sit on Mondays. It will sit on Tuesday, which means that the Speaker, even if he has received this memorandum from the leader, will not be able to give any directives or orders until tomorrow when they meet. And even that one, it is when he has to deal with other matters on the floor. unless, of course, he decides to issue a directive now, which directive we do not know whether he has or he has not. But suffice it to say, the committee is sitting, and that means that it is without prejudice to whatever Alexander Fenyo-Makin has said, and they are proceeding. I mean, don't forget that they were given a few days to do this work.
Yeah.
Today was supposed to be their last day, and this is actually, they've gone to ask for permission. So the summary of what he was saying there was reading a letter from the minority recusing themselves or their side from proceedings and to further directives from the speaker. So this is actually a letter that he was reading, the one that we showed on the screens earlier. Right. And so I wish we would hear what his position on the matter is, whether they respect it. But I think if he reads a letter where they say they are recusing themselves, he would simply say, very well, thank you so much, have a good day, or goodbye.
Because we still have numbers.
Yeah, because we have numbers and we'll do our work. And that is what is going on. And I said that last week, that I find it very unfortunate, very sad that we are having to see this happening, because committees are always drawn from two sides. Sometimes maybe there could be an independent MP on it. But this one-sided committee, I will not see the thoroughness that it deserves or that is expected of it, and that's for me is very shameful. I really wish they could solve this matter and then work together. The issues of bias that they raise against the chairman, I quizzed one of their MPs last week, and he listed the biases. One of the members of the committee actually, on Eyewitness News, and he said that the committee chair has said he's been having... This will be the Honorable Anyimedu. Yeah, Anyimedu Entry. That he has been having... The chairman said he has been having private interactions with witnesses to the committee, and they think that that's prejudicial. And again, he says that the fact that it is in open, the hearing is in open, and that the witnesses are sitting there, they are hearing what the other witnesses are saying, they may be prejudiced, and so because of that, for them, they thought that it was not right. And so these are the three things that they hinge their concerns on. On
the open hearing or the public hearing, that's one concern they raised strongly, that they are not sure that was the directive of the speaker. And so they are concerned that it's being held in public, and of course, like you said, other witnesses hear what other witnesses say, and it has a tendency to prejudice the entire thing.
I mean, the House, this committee has been sitting for a number of days now. If it is indeed true that the speaker did not order the committee to act in the open or sit in the open, and the committee has been doing that, the speaker would have noticed that. Especially when he commented on the committee on the day that he suspended the suspension. He said the committee's work would, however, continue unabated. I do not remember, but I think I must have heard him mention public hearing. But if the MPP holds a view that he did not say that, they could have drawn his attention to it. You know, they could have brought his attention to the fact that, hey, the committee that you set up, you said they should not sit in public, but they are sitting in public. And witnesses are lined up in the room listening to each other and repeating the same thing. They could have said that. And the speaker could have reacted. But I raised an issue when I did the interview with Anyimedu Entry, and I said, in the past, we've had committees. Of course, I know that in the courtroom, there are instances where witnesses are asked to step out if a case is going to be heard. But you see, with the advent of media, new media, I don't know if this thing is really going to be workable. Now, we've seen the Ejura committee. The Ejura committee, they sat in public. Witnesses were invited, and we watched them on TV. We saw the Ayawaso West Wogon committee. It was the same thing. These are no committee, it's commission actually, commission of inquiry. This is outside Parliament. But inside Parliament, Joe Gate chaired a committee, and we saw it on TV. Everything unfolded. We saw a committee which was jointly chaired by Katie Hammond and the current Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine. It was in public. We witnessed everything. So I don't really understand why, and again, it is fair that they make the point they make, but on the face of it, we saw what we saw on TV. The chaos, the clashes, the lifting of table, the breaking of gadgets. We all saw that. And I think so far, nobody has come to say anything that we didn't really see anyway. The only difference now is that the witnesses who are speaking are saying it on the record and on oath. So it's something that can be used. But otherwise, I'm not sure anyone has come before this committee and said anything that we did not see on TV. Mind you, our cameras were rolling, we were carrying everything live. What I look forward to hearing today, though, is a gentleman who was brought in last week. Whose gentleman said he had come there on the invitation, or rather to come and support the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. We are told this morning he's supposed to return with his lawyer and also Honorable Samokujeta Blakwa because he's a stranger to the committee for all intents and purposes. And being a stranger means that he's not a member of the committee, but he was seen where he should not be seen. I really want to see the questions that I want to hear the questions they would ask him and the responses that he'll be giving. So it based on the fact that the committee is going to sit, despite the fact that the minority has raised issues, I foresee more work happening today, more people being invited, and they are all going to come and make their assessments in the way they deem fit.
The committee has scheduled to hear members of the minority side on the appointments committee today. So, I mean, on Friday, the chairman did mention the likes of the Honorable Afenyo Makin, Frank Arnold Dompre, Jerry Ahmed Shaib. They were all, I mean, they've been scheduled to attend to the committee's invitation today. We are waiting to see how that progresses or how all that will play out. But the gentleman you mentioned, we understand is currently at the committee sitting with, well, introductions will be done so we will know officially if indeed he's in the company of his lawyer or otherwise. And like you say, it will be interesting to know whether it will be a grilling session or he's there only as a witness and so not a suspect or anything. So I mean, it will be interesting to hear some of the issues that will come up, since it was established last week that, I mean, he is a stranger and wasn't supposed to be where he was as at the time he was filmed. You think that the chair of the committee so far appears unperturbed by whatever it is that the minority is saying, but you think it's in his interest to fight these allegations, to clear his name?
I think if the speaker says it should be, then it should be. But for now, it appears, for instance, there was an accusation against him that he said he would beat up MPP MPs. And he explained that was in the last parliament. And he said his reason was that if where he's sitting, someone comes to collect his seat, he will beat the person. Okay. I don't know if he said that on record, but he said last week that was from last parliament. For me, I want us to make progress. All the members of parliament are biased in one way or the other anyway. They have their interests, they have their political leanings, and they have their... It is a fact that the Honorable Bajra is a member of parliament on the ticket of the NDC. So I do not think that we should expect him to behave as if he's an MPP person. He can be objective by giving everybody the fair hearing. But as to whether he's neutral, I cannot guarantee that because I'm not sure he's neutral. However, would he be fair? Would he be objective to all of them? That he has said that he would. And I'm saying that the only way we can test that is where the MPP MPs were sitting there. If they were sitting there, we would see how many questions he even allows from their side. And we'll see the kind of questions he would allow from their side. That is how we can start judging him. We'll see how regularly he would give them a hearing if they want to speak. And then when MPP people come before the committee, how he's going to relate to them, how he's going to lead the examination or questioning. That is the only way we can test whether he's to be trusted to be objective and fair or not. So far, we have not had the opportunity of testing that, and I really wish we could test it. That's all.
Yeah, because so far it's been members on the majority side who have appeared before the committee with that particular stranger, and then the clerk to the appointment committee. We've seen how he leads them in evidence and all that. Maximum 10 minutes and you are done. Yeah, there's a video that is played. You are asked to identify yourself, and then you ask further questions on the happenings of the day. So, I mean, it will be informative to see how, when the NPP minority MPs appear before the committee, the whole exercise will be conducted. But as it stands now, we don't even know if they are going to show up or not.
So for me, it's almost like a committee of inquiry. They are gathering information, and that's why we don't see any cross-examination or anything. You come, you give information based on everything you have gathered. And like I said, everything we are hearing from the members, we already knew because we saw in the public domain on TV. The only difference that someone is now, okay, so if you go to court and you have to deliver information to the court, there has to be delivered through one person or another. So maybe you can tender an evidence through a witness or through an accused person. You know, these are ways. So what they are doing now is giving the evidence, mentioning names of people, and they are doing it on oath. So we can refer to it and see person A said on oath that ABCD ordered that microphones should be destroyed.
Yeah.
Then based on that, we can take action. And that's why we are seeing what we are seeing. It's just strange that I have not seen any journalists being invited because the sense I got from the committee chair was that it was open to both MPs and non-MPs. I don't know if it's the case that journalists did not apply to go and give them evidence, or they have not bothered to invite journalists. But I think we were playing a very neutral role. We were there covering these things, and I think they should try and hear from us. We could even the videos they are using, most of them are from us.
Yes, perhaps they feel that is enough from journalists if they are playing the videos.
No, you see, there are things that we see from where we are that,
and not everything that's captured.
Not everything that is captured. For instance, on January 6, January 7, 2021, I was there when the command was given for the soldiers to enter the chamber.
Right.
The people who gave the command, I was there when they said, but I didn't have that on camera, and I didn't have that on record. You know, so something like that, you as a journalist, you may know, but it's not everything you can say.
You can say.
And again, it's not everything you can prove, so it's difficult for you to say it. But when you come under oath, you can then say it and you can be cross-examined, and that way you can state that I saw person A or B or C who said ABC, and that's how we saw what we saw. The video they are playing, most of them are, like I said, are videos that we generated. I also expect to hear the committee inviting policemen. For instance, the policeman who was carrying the table in that photograph that is viral. Let's invite him. Now, police need a table for one. So you should come and explain why you are carrying a table. Let them explain to us, because we've seen the marshals, that's like the chief security of Parliament. But the police were invited, and we have a police protection unit at the Parliament House. Let's get the policemen to also come and give testimony, or come and give their evidence. Whatever information they have, they should come and share. Another group, the people who accompanied their nominees to come for vetting, the chiefs, the people who were standing in the background, they're excited. Let's hear from them too. Let them also tell us a story. Because the thing is that you want as many witnesses as possible to corroborate information that has been said. I think we should try and get all of these things. Another thing, I think Parliament has a lot of CCTV cameras.
Yes.
So aside what the journalists have produced, we should have CCTV footage. That should be readily available. I am pretty sure the conference room would have CCTV footage. Because it's not a private office, it's a conference room.
Is it okay for the committee to restrict itself to readily available material, given the time period they have to do their work?
I think the committee has a lot of work to do, and now they have already appealed to the Speaker for an extension of time.
Yeah, for 2 days.
And I'm sure the Speaker can give them that time. The fact that you need to hurry with your work does not mean that you have to be shoddy in your work. So we cannot sacrifice comprehensiveness on the altar of speed. I don't think that's proper. So we can be speedy in our work, but also be very comprehensive and thorough. And so far, what we are seeing is what they do on the screen. A lot of work should be happening in the background. They should be preparing reports. They should be preparing statements which they would admit and agree to before they lay to the House for approval. So I think that time should not be, if 2 days, the 2 extra days they are getting, which we don't even know whether they've given them, and I'm sure they'll give them, it's not enough. They could even ask for 5 more days. The saddest thing in this, our democracy, is that we didn't investigate what happened on January 6, 2021 in the Republic of Ghana in Parliament House. The United States people, they did it. They've sent people to jail. People have been sentenced to all manner of years, save the fact that Donald Trump has come to free a lot of them. But they have taken action. We did not take action.
We did not.
And that's why we have seen a repetition. If the people who engaged in those acts, the MPs especially, were punished in 2021, 2022, these MPs that we saw last week or last 2 weeks would have hesitated before acting. So that you know that, hey, this thing, the fact that I'm fighting for my party and shouting and doing the things I'm doing is not enough. I have seen the Honorable Ochebefi of Koforidua, that's a New Job in South MP. He has been quoted as saying that they had to stay to cause the chaos in the committee room, because if they left, then this would have carried out the business. I think they should be invited to come and explain that position properly. I saw it in a publication, in a news publication. If it is indeed true that he said that, maybe he should come and clarify further. To say that, oh, we knew that when we walk out, they will not be able, they will do their work. So we decided to stay to obstruct them. That is a very serious statement to be made by a member of parliament. I want to see whether it is something he said or not. Perhaps if he comes before the committee and under oath, he may not say it in the way that it has been said. Maybe the person who published the story online possibly misquoted him. I don't know. Maybe the intent, the purpose he intended to communicate was not properly communicated. But I think we want to hear from all these people.
Yeah.
Every member of parliament who was in that committee room, and the videos that we have seen, everyone who was seen dragging, pushing, shoving, shouting, should be invited to come and explain themselves. It is only based on that that we can really hear the 360 story.
Exactly.
Because there's something called angling in news. The journalists who covered, so there were fisticuffs here, there was a brawl there was a table being broken here, there was a chair. You, the journalist, has to take an editorial discretion. Which one do you want to film? If you can't get everything together, which one do you focus on? So maybe TV3 focused on the fisticuffs. ChannelOne decided to focus on the brawl over there. Metro TV decided to focus on the carrying of the table. Different angles. But if we bring all of them together, then we'll have a full picture. And that's what I want us to have. Let us get all the perspectives in the room that day. And it is the only way we can unravel this information and then get the details further.
If the minority witnesses decide not to attend to the invitation of the committee, what options are available to the chairman and his committee? And I'm asking because on Friday, the chairman announced to us that 18 people had been tabled to appear before the committee. Only 10 had shown up. The remaining 8, there was no explanation to their absence. We are yet to know what if a decision will be taken on them, or they will be allowed to go, or whatever it is. But what options are available to the chairman, considering the position of the minority as it is now?
I don't have my standing orders here with me, standing orders of parliament, but I do know that these committees are very powerful. They have the power of subpoena. They have the power to summon you to come and answer questions. And if you do not show up, they have ways they can go about their thing. They can issue a warrant of arrest. And the warrant of arrest, we drag them right there. Now, arresting an MP is a whole different kettle of fish. We don't know that. The man who can give permission for an MP to be arrested is the Speaker of Parliament. And this committee is the Speaker's committee. So if the Speaker says, go ahead and do your work, I don't think it will get there. I don't think it will get to the point where they will invite the MPP MPs and they will refuse to come. And then we have to then see this chairman triggering that clause where he can give an order, a subpoena. I don't think we will get there, and I'm hoping we don't get there, because if we do get there, it's going to make the things even worse. Because we are trying to, as much as we are trying to get justice and truth, we're also working on a reconciliation of a sort. We're trying to work on making sure that the committee members on both sides work. There's a consensus building effort. We need that consensus building now, just like we needed in the last parliament. And I think we should not get there. If the MPP MPs are invited, go and say what you saw and what you know, and respond to questions when they ask you. Give the evidence to the best of your knowledge. Everything you know, you say. I mean, that's what I can say.
Well, we understand that the private citizen, George Opeku, who was invited on Friday and asked to return today with his lawyers, indeed has returned, and they've requested for the Hansard from Friday. And so that means the committee will be taking him later. That's the update we can give as it is now. George Opeku, the private citizen, has requested for the Hansard from the committee from Friday. And so he will be taken later by the committee. Some swearing in is currently ongoing.